Hey guys, for everybody getting into the show, it's the show before the show. We're starting the car right now, so to speak.
The motor's running. I just heard it.
Yeah. Who's Derek Pratt saying go Tigers? I don't know which Tigers he's talking about.
I'm assuming yours.
Missouri Tigers?
Mm-hmm.
They look bad. When you play in their football conference and play the kind of teams that they're playing, you can't just win. You have to win really good because you get afraid of what's coming down the pipe.
Makes sense.
Hi, everybody. Like, subscribe, share the show. Good morning. Welcome to the show before the show on a Monday, September 11th. We like to have fun on Mondays, but obviously we'll never forget the anniversary, which we'll talk more about, 22nd anniversary of 9/11. Almost 3,000 people died that day. And then, of course, who knows, countless more from the effects of it after the fact of all kinds of poisoning and you name it, first responders suffering with diseases and illnesses and everything else. Go Tigers. But you're being positive, Derek. There you go. That's nice.
Derek is always positive.
Mm-hmm.
Positive Derek.
Yeah, it was a good weekend, but there's a bank. It's a local bank throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area where I bank, excuse me, my businesses that I want to leave. They, I love the fact that they suspected fraud on my cards.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thanks. But then they lock your cards. The bank's
that's
closed.
Right. Yep.
And then you can't talk to anybody.
Ugh, yeah, that is frustrating.
And you're without anything. Not that I have any money anyway, but the few dollars that I do have, I desperately need.
That's so crazy. But they do that. And so you almost have to diversify even just your regular checking account.
Pissed.
I bet you're pissed.
They cut your cards off.
Yeah.
They don't tell you. And then you can't talk to anybody.
Right. Yes.
What?
We changed our bank after the whole J6 thing and saw that
it was not. Yeah, you should go to a credit union. That's what Derek said.
Yep, for sure.
Chris says, morning, everybody. 2 decades later, I still remember exactly where I was when the first plane happened. Anybody of age, I think, remembers when they first heard.
Yes.
Yeah, Marcia, maddening. I mean, there's so much work that goes to move a business bank account. But it's in the back of my mind.
Yeah. It's a lot of work to do that.
I'm like, come on now.
Yeah. Come on now.
But over the weekend, so I was back at Mizzou. That was fun. Parents' weekend. And got to hang out with
both your babies.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Junior's been there entering her third year, and a freshman son.
Love it. So that's very cool for you that they both went to the same place. And I'm sure you had nothing to do about it.
You know what? I didn't. I had a son.
Did you really?
No, I had a son. He had Division II college football offers. And his goal was always to at least play Division I. He didn't get any Division I offers, thanks to a terrible head coach at Chaminade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I won't get into that.
Good old Chaminade.
Just don't lie to kids. That guy was something else. Anyway, long story short, he's like, I'm not going to play pro football, Dad. I'm going to start a business and go to school.
Good for him.
Work hard. So
good for him.
He chose the local school, thank God. So, yeah, I'm selfishly happy because I had one son playing a varsity football game on Saturday, skip half that, then race to go see the other two kids at Mizzou. So it's like, damn, and then you're trying to listen to the game on the way, and it's just, Hey, good morning to you, Christina Harrell from Michigan. I know we have listeners all over. I love it when you guys check in because I know we have listeners all over the country. About half our audience comes from the St. Louis metropolitan area so far, and half across the country and even internationally. And that's what we want to do. Worldwide show. Our topics are national stories world stories more so than they are local, but we do hit the local as well. Good morning to you, Mandy from Florida.
Love it.
You said Angie from the UK. Rich says high school art class. Heard it on radio 22 years ago. Hope we all never forget. We can't forget. Unfortunately, the media in a lot of places do want you to forget.
They sure do.
Can't forget. There's people who still suffer with diseases and illnesses, first responders who raced in, who did survive the initial stuff of that day. And of course, we're called nutsos. Anybody that thinks that there was something devious and maybe our government or people had something to do with it or knew that it was coming and it could have been prevented. Mm-hmm. Hey, good morning, Aunt Pat. Good to see you. Listening from the state of Illinois. Derek's checking in from Highway 270 this morning. BOA was an absolute nightmare to bank with.
Yep.
We did and got hosed so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know other people that like the bank that I'm at, but I'm not going to rip that bank.
Mine was, I had the same problems Anthony had at BOA, but I just weathered it because you almost have problems at any bank with fees and all that. But like I said earlier, after J6, I was like, and they're giving over bank records. Kind of reminds me of Liberty Safe. That safe company is doing the same thing.
Yeah. Scott says, giving a shout out to First State Bank of St. Charles. Great bank. Always open when you need them.
Yeah.
Always open is very, that catches my attention, especially when your cards are locked up. Sorry. Can't talk to anybody until Monday. Sorry.
And Brendan, thank you. We did get the Trump never surrender.
Can you take a picture of that and send it to Joe?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
I would love that.
I'll go get it.
I don't know how he got in the building, but that's a little bit concerning, but we'll manage. We'll make that work. But it was a fun weekend, especially parents' weekend for myself to hang out with not one, but two of my kids and just go out and have a good weekend and be with them the whole time and all of us together. So love that. The show's going to fly by today, guys. It is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting anywhere. You know that. It's how we produce the shows. That's how we like it. That's what we've always been. That's what we'll try to always be. Projo has a new show out. Is it an adult 21 and over show?
I mean, I guess because
I haven't heard it all yet, but I'm hearing rumors. I hear it's pretty exciting and entertaining, and you got a lot of things that you cover. So promote it. But if it needs to be 21 and up, let people know.
It probably should be 20
or 18 and up. Well, in this day and age, it's 2023 now. It's 16
18,
and up.
Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely
liberals want it to be 13 and up. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any of our liberals listening. I'm sorry.
It is.
No, don't be sorry.
Sorry.
But Joe, I agree. I was honored to be able to see like just the pilot episode, and it's really good. It's really, really good. But it's not for the faint of heart if you're 13.
Right.
So, but it's great.
We have our host. One of our hosts' name is Kara the Lesbian. If that tells you anything, so it's an interesting show.
It definitely is.
Christina says, "I'm old school, but don't like banks. Husband does. I know, credit union all the way. Yeah, anybody know a credit union? I'll switch my banking over there, and they can be an advertiser."
You know, there's a bank that if you're going to go to a bank and not a savings and loan, and you're in the St. Louis metropolitan area, Bank of Old Monroe is only, I think, has 3 branches. That's it. And they are definitely a Patriot-run bank.
I was asked over the weekend, do you really think, and do you guys really believe the conspiracy quote shit you guys talk about?
Depends on which one.
I was asked that at Mizzou this weekend.
Yeah.
Although I did have somebody come up to me, didn't know who they were. I listened to Cancel This. I was like, okay, it's like we're not even promoting in Columbia, but that's awesome. This person lives in Columbia. I know the world is closer now via social media.
It is, because you can listen anywhere. And we have listeners, like you said, 50% are in the St. Louis area, but that 50% is stretching way out, that the other 50% is everywhere. It's all over the United States. And people watching Brazil and UK and Germany and all of that. It's interesting the time frame in which they watch it.
Real quick before we start our real show, this is the show before the show. Les says, "Hey Vic, did you watch the Lions Chiefs game, guys? Did I watch the Lions Chiefs game? Les, you may not have been with us Friday.
Yeah. On Friday he was gloating. Les, he was.
Do we
gloating.
still have the picture of Jared Goff carrying Patrick Mahomes around on his shoulders?
No.
Or did you blow that out?
Yeah, they get cleared out.
He wanted to forget it. You're the only one that loved that.
Yeah, I watched the Chiefs-Lions game. Good luck, Seattle. Both their offensive tackles are out this week, and they got to go against Adrian Hutchinson, the Lions pass rusher. Yeah, I watched it. He said, "Hey, Vic, was that a Chiefs move or an NFL move to stay woke and play two anthems?" Yeah, they played the... It's sad because we have to designate colors, the, quote, black national anthem. They played that first in the real national anthem. No, those are not individual decisions made by the NFL teams. Those are decisions made by the NFL. But at least they took the crap, no racism painting out of the end zone. That's gone this year, thank God. Less woke is better. Besides, the NFL wants to make money.
I have that picture of that Trump card.
Get rid of all the stupid slogans and sayings that cultivate, create, and encourage racism when they act like they're trying to stop it. Okay. I believe it's the restaurant.
Did you want to show the Trump card now or later?
No.
Oh, the Trump card from Brendan?
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay. One of our listeners, viewers dropped this by. Lizzie saw it.
That was great. When I walked in,
where was that sitting?
When you come to the studio, each of the rooms here at Strategic Air Services has the name of who you are and the number. And I walked in and I was like, "What's on top of the cancel this little page to the door?" This was sitting here, and we couldn't figure out who did it. We just assumed it was Kevin, the owner of the building. He loves himself some Trump, but no, it was one of our listeners that got in here, but we don't know when.
No, that's fine. He works at the airport.
Yeah, love it.
I think he came in when, I don't know. Yeah, I think you were doing your hair and makeup.
I probably was doing.
You were in with our makeup team.
I was with them. Oh gosh, I would love to have a makeup and hair team.
It's overrated.
I know some people.
Yeah, well, I would.
Well, it's not overrated. You know, when I was in Detroit, and it's ironic. I'm not sure. St. Louis only had like makeup teams in this. St. Louis is a much smaller market. I came back because I had family here. Love Detroit. But I had in Detroit, we had a makeup team or makeup people that did your hair and your makeup for women and men. Women needed obviously more than men. In St. Louis, because I asked who did your hair, your makeup, people did it all. And sometimes I would joke, I was like, "Can't you tell?" Just look at the people. I mean, with all due respect, in St. Louis compared to Detroit, Chicago, New York, Minneapolis, I mean, they had teams for a reason. It makes you look better. But no, in St. Louis, there aren't makeup teams, or at least there wasn't at the station that I worked at. So you did it yourself. Now, the morning show had a woman, Tiffany. She's amazing. I saw her with her daughter over the weekend, too. She walked by. We gave a high five, but she does the makeup at Fox in the morning. So a few of the women can get their makeup done in the morning.
Yeah, that would be nice because I'm not good at makeup or hair. So yeah, that would be great. Like if I had all the money in the world and you could pick one really great thing, it would be a hair person.
Most local news don't have makeup teams anymore. They just don't.
Yeah, you got to get good with your own makeup or not.
Okay. Hey, let's go ahead and start the show. We'll show you our new Patriots graphic as well. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. It is a Monday. It is September 11th, the 22nd anniversary of 9/11. We're going to talk about that. Much more to get into. about that. Where were you? Any stories? Go ahead, share them for all of our live podcast listeners. I know most of our listeners and viewers and people who take in the show do it outside of our live hours of Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, but feel free to share, especially if you're jumping in live today or not. The whole situation regarding that. We have a lot of topics, but if you have something that comes to mind, jump in, let us know. Even if you, I know there were terrorists, Saudi Arabians, but who were the real terrorists?
Yeah, who are our own people.
The insurance policy taken out on the main building.
Yep. It's our people. It's not people.
Days before, it goes down, and now we're paid out billions and billions of dollars. Anyway, almost 3,000 lives lost that day. Thousands more lost after because of the effects of going in there, chemicals, dust, asbestos, you name it. First responders still, people dealing with that. Robert Peterbaugh says, here we go. This is Friday Extended, I guess. Is 9/11 the birth date of Jesus Christ?
People are saying that.
Is that why all evil on this day? I wonder. I haven't even looked at all, quote, evil on 9/11. I'm not opposed to jumping into that. I'm not prepared for it. I don't know what the hell it is. Robbie Bazell says it's like us having a patent on the coronavirus. We are the terrorist. Makes you wonder. Certainly makes you wonder. Angie Bryan said, no, there wasn't. I don't know what you mean by that, Andy. If you can explain, that would be great as well. Anyway, besides reminiscing 9/11, because we can't let anybody forget that kind of crap can happen, that devastation. Families still mourn over 2 decades later. Kids didn't get to grow up knowing their parents. Parents lost grandparents, friends, brothers, sisters, spouses. You name it. Somebody is affected, or somebody knew somebody who was there in some way. Angie says, yeah, Vic, you said it. Terrorist all the way coming through. With that being said, from terrorist to Joe Biden, I wasn't trying to connect the two. It just happened that way. It's funny how that happens sometimes in life. Joe Biden on a presser with Vietnam, he has to step down. He has to step down right now. And shame on you Democrats for not allowing him to step down. I don't care if it's Kamala or not. He needs to leave. He cannot. When you see the video again, 2 different times during press conferences, and his team having to stop the press conference literally with elevator music, he can't get through it. He doesn't know where he is. He's lost. And I'm sorry, Democrats. Let's have a conversation. I'm sorry, anybody who hates Trump and anything but Trump. This is the worst. I mean, this is so bad. It's gotten to that pitch where people can't just laugh at it. And if you're somebody who's laughing at it, shame on you. I'm calling you out. If you got a problem, come talk to me about it. It's bad. We're going to get to that in a second. Donald Trump flags continue to fly at Yankee Stadium. Donald Trump if anybody doesn't think Donald Trump's going to dominate the Iowa voting, just wait till you see the video. He went to the Iowa State game over the weekend, and just like everywhere else, he goes, I'm sorry. It's going to be a bloody bath in the Republican primary in the state of Iowa. Nobody has any shot. This man looked like Moses parting the Red Sea of Cyclone fans at Jack Trice Stadium. The Trump master walking through. We'll get into that. Elementary school teacher, drag principal. She was hired. Somebody hired a drag principal knowing that they were drag in outfit. Thought it was cool. Yeah, we'll get into that. New Mexico governor thought it was cool to say, yeah, you know what? There's no Amendment 1 or Amendment 2 rights anymore. I'm taking away your constitutional rights because I have the authority to do so, because I feel it's going to make things safe. Yeah, good luck with that. She's now facing impeachment. Hell, Elon Musk even says, we got to get her out now. What can we do to get her out? Would not want Elon Musk coming after me. No. Over time, I've bought more into what happened with the election in 2020, and we're going to show you some stats. If these stats, and I know it's not hardcore evidence, but it makes you go, what the truck? If anybody has half a brain that can figure out a lot of craziness happened with 2000's presidential election. Yep. Just wait till you see the stats. It'll blow your mind. Nancy Pelosi says she's going to run again. Okay, good luck. And if things weren't bad enough in New York already, we're going to show you another video from the weekend. Times Square being torn up by hoodlums, thugs, illegals. And just wait to hear the total number of kids that are at least counted for right now. Illegal alien kids, migrants, if you want to be kind, because they had no saying or doing of being brought into this country illegally. How many of them showed up for school in New York City?
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, it's buckling, baby. It's bad. There's so much to get into today. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered
Golly, we're going to get into it all. First of all, please check out a look at our advertisers, our sponsors right now. The ones that we have, love it. That's why they're staying with us. They're seeing business. If you know anybody, let us know. It can be local. It can be national brands. It helps us out so that we continue to do what we're doing and get bigger and stronger. Our numbers have been massive. Have we already are we over 1.7 million views and listens since we started?
Yes. And the biggest majority of them been in the last 2 months. The last 2 months have been our biggest of all of them. So yeah, we're rocking and rolling. It's doing really great. And we appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah. If you guys have any ideas, let us know. Reach out to us. But first, this is a quick little break. Show you our commercials, our advertisers, our partners who make this possible. We come right back and we jump in with this 9/11, and you can't miss the Biden sound. You can't miss it. Somehow, some way, he's gotten worse.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco! Wait, what? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. It is September 11th. For those listening live, it's 8:15. Oh, hold on a second. Vic popped a button. Yeah, baby. Like, what the hell happened during break?
So now our show is rated R. What you guys doing out there?
Yeah, baby. I'm getting chunky.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Gotta stop drinking so much. I had a fun weekend. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm
good for
chunky
you.
and enlarged. No, I was with my kids at the University of Missouri over the weekend, Parents Weekend, had a blast. Fun being out with them. Thanks to everybody who took care of us as well, that's for sure. Met a lot of really cool people. Missouri barely won. Oh, please. Anyway, it's good to be with you all today. We love being here. Lots of energized people in here today. Myself, Lizzie, Projo. Many topics to get into, which we just talked about. We're grateful for the support that the show continues to get. We were talking about the numbers that we have. Over 1.7 million views and listens since we started, and it's growing. Most of those coming in just the last 2 months, believe it or not. We're definitely on a good charge, good trek, and it's because of you. So thanks again for your ideas, your stories, the advertisers and sponsor ideas that you guys have, the interviews, the cancel culture stories, because we can't forget who we are, as we are a live interactive show. News headlines, politics, interviews, business, entertainment, you name it, we cover it. And we appreciate you guys jumping in. Okay. It's 9/11, the anniversary of the 22nd anniversary, 2,799 lives officially. We know it's more than that. From that day, 22 years ago, I was watching TV. When I first saw it come down, I was like, what the hell? Did that just happen? So people have been sharing your thoughts, your ideas. If people know, if you want to say a prayer, give a shout out to somebody that you knew, a family member, somebody who's still affected by that entire situation. Because as we know, when people pass away, that's it. But the loss is here. It's for all of those people like us who know somebody who passed away, who had to deal with something like that, because we're the ones who are hurting sitting here when you see some of those stories. It's interesting, too. I want to get people's opinion. We're not going to show it, but I was going to show the picture of the man infamously jumping from the building where he's upside down with his hands in his pockets because people couldn't stand the heat. Are you going to die being burned alive in a building, or are you just going to jump to your fate?
Yeah, and I have mixed emotions about that video too.
I was going to show it, and Joe's like, Vic, you may just think about it. He's like, it was so disheartening for Joe to even look at it.
I know.
And for me, I'm like, you know what? F people. And not Joe. Right. People need to see that stuff, because I'm like, when I first put it into show, it's like, we can't forget.
Right.
We can't become politically correct when it comes to that stuff.
Correct.
But you try to be cognizant of people's feelings as well.
Right.
And then I decided, you know what? No, I'm not going to show it. I don't put Joe on the spot. It's like, we have decisions and you try to put things together. My point being is, you can't candy coat things, in my humble opinion.
No, and I agree. It's just the initial reaction to seeing that after so many years.
Yes.
Just, it's a little triggering. However, I mean, if you want to show it, we can show it, because I do believe that it is something that people need to see to remember exactly what happened that day.
Right. And that's where I have mixed emotions too. My first reaction too is, oh my gosh, don't play that. But then I'm thinking, we have to show things like that, because who did this to us? I mean, I'm of the opinion that we were hoodwinked by our government to hate Muslims, to think that there was foreign terrorists coming to get us. And there are, but that's not what happened that day. That picture is showing today. It's relevant today. The falling out of a burning building is a depiction and an example of what our government is doing to us day in and day out. We're literally jumping out of a burning building every day.
So should we show it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know.
What do you guys think? Let us know. Let us know on the listener line.
Listeners.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the pictures, it's shown all over social media.
It is.
It doesn't get tagged. It doesn't get...
it was just my initial reaction.
But I understand that, Joe. I do.
And I get it too. And that's why you're a great sounding board. And that's why I put it out for you guys to do that. It's Maui 20 years earlier.
Yeah, Helen's saying we should show it. And this is why I kind of agree with her. Maui, exactly what's going on today in Maui is what our government did to us in New York that many years ago. My point
in that too, and I had a news anchor and we really got into this. And it's part of a story that we're going to tell about a little earlier, because I had to look at the 5th article before I found the terminology used that I wanted to use. Now, stay with me here for a second as I explain this. We have a sexual assault story we're going to talk about later. Young girl sexually assaulted in a bathroom by a guy wearing a skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Governor Youngkin in Virginia acquitted this father for busting in to a student council, or excuse me, a superintendent's school board meeting. Anyway, it took me forever to find a story that said, and I'm not trying to be hurtful to anybody, because I do know a couple women who were, quote, raped. I've never been sexually assaulted, but I've always felt like that term is so harsh, but I want it said so people know there's a difference between a full act and being sexually assaulted, not from a standpoint. Most of the time, you hear sexually assaulted, but that could be grabbing somebody's private parts.
Yeah.
Or it could be somebody, a woman
being raped.
Yes.
Yes.
But then I had a co-anchor and with producers who refused to use the word because they said it was so harsh. And I'm like, yeah, which is why people need to know the difference between being grabbed and the whole freaking horrible thing that a woman has to go through.
I agree.
And she's like, I don't think that should be done. But a woman who I know who was raped said it needs to be said. So it's like, it needs to be said.
Yes, it does need
that
to be
word
said.
needs to be shown.
Yes.
So I compare that as being shown. Do we show the most graphic pictures that you can possibly have when it comes to a situation like
Our
this?
listeners are saying yes. They said on Cancel This, we should see it because we do tell the truth. Sometimes the truth is really, really ugly.
Real quick, Jessica.
And I don't have anyone saying no.
Okay, we'll show it. Jessica says, by the way, sexual assault can be using the F word. It's crazy, but true.
Yeah, and she's right, because that's where it's almost not a potent word anymore, because sexual assault, if I just said F you to you, but really more, if you said it to me because I'm the girl, then it could be considered a sexual assault.
I don't know, but we'll show the picture, and I hope it doesn't trigger anybody, but it's just, this is reminiscent. It's the 9/11 cap. This picture to me, when I saw it come through and why I pushed it to Joe, was the fact that you can't forget those things where somebody had to some innocent man decides to jump to his fate instead of being burned alive in a building because the heat was so unimaginable.
Yes.
Unimaginable.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the decisions that people had that day, innocent lives, over about 3,000 innocent lives lost that day when it came to that situation. And people wanted to see it. So we show, and that's just one of the pictures.
Yeah.
We're not even showing the graphic pictures, but people know that's what happens. Glenn says, guys, you need to show pictures. There's a reason they still show pictures of bodies at Auschwitz.
Absolutely. And we were a couple years back at the 9/11 memorial, and it is so heart-wrenching. You hear the people's phone calls. I mean, it's a very well done place. But if you're going to think that you're going to have a good day that day, your heart hurts so bad after seeing the catastrophic stuff that happened, no matter how you believe it. Like if you really believe that there was Muslim terrorists that came over here and did it, or if you think our own born and bred government did it, whoever you think did it, gosh, that is just awful what happened that day.
I just, for me, out of everything that happened, the images of people jumping out of buildings to their death, that's the thing that that's what triggers me.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw the video, I was like, is that trash falling? Oh my God. Those are people jumping.
Yeah.
And the picture of the man upside down with his hands in his pocket. Were his hands in his pocket?
Looked like it.
I'm just casually enjoying, it's, here it is. It is what it is. And,
like Jeannie's saying, she watched it live and she can't, she's on the part, I can't get this out. I can't keep seeing that and stay sane. She's right. So Joe was right. I mean, once you see it, it's like you can't stay sane. I mean,
she watched it live.
Yes.
When it happened. Paul says, don't forget about the two people who held hands and jumped out of a building together as well, deciding to meet their fate that day. And then, of course, those are the emotional sides, the stories of the people affected as it was happening. And as we were trying to realize what happened, then, of course, what came out of it was we know that there weren't any weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
You know what came out of that is the Patriot Act.
That's exactly right. The Patriot Act. And that is literally for the government's benefit. There's no way that helps us, we the people. They hoodwinked people even back then saying, okay, then we can spy on foreign entities. But they never said anything about now we're going to be able to spy on you. And that's really what they did.
And another war.
And another, of course,
yeah,
another
there's Helen
war.
said it too.
Yes, and another war. And that's the sad part about all of this is a lot of people woke up then. Me as one of them. I never liked George Bush, never did, and I'm a conservative.
I
never
liked him
did.
then. I did.
Never.
It.
So
I
did,
bought it
so
hook,
did my
line, and
husband.
sinker.
I did not. There was just something about it. It was just a gut feeling. So your gut feelings aren't always right, but as soon as this happened and he went into the wrong country, I said, I don't understand this. This is not supposedly who attacked us. And right there, the puzzle pieces didn't add up. And from that point on, I would have been considered what you call a conspiracy theorist. But almost all of these conspiracies are showing to be true.
Yeah. Here's another interesting thing. Just think about this. And of course, when there's so many aspects of this complex story, that's why we enjoy your participation and reminding us. Something I never thought about, because you're looking everywhere, trying to figure out every bit of information, as Jessica says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything in those buildings burned to a crisp. No evidence left behind, but the Muslim passports. Oh, somehow they were found unscathed so that we knew who the alleged attackers were.
Correct. It's just so insane. And, like what I had said earlier, Rob saying it too, the Patriot Act opened us up for spying on us. And it's just insane what they're doing. And it's exactly what they're doing in Maui. It's exactly what they're doing buying our government land. It's exactly what they're doing censoring us. But it started there and a lot of people saw it then.
And if anybody wants to give shout outs to anybody who lost their lives that day or somebody that was still suffering, please do so as well. Keeping them of course, in our thoughts and our prayers. 22 years later, after something like that happening, the worst on American soil, anything that had ever happened. And of course, you think of something like that happening 22 years ago and what it did to this country and how it, quote, solidified us as a nation. And now we couldn't be any more parted than we are right now. We couldn't be any more when it comes to parties divided, when it comes to what's happening with the illegal immigration in this country and the political. I mean, we're at a point now where you have a sitting president using his DOJ to go after the man who's beating him and polling and will beat him in a presidential election, trying to have him arrested and put in jail. I mean, it's just look what's happened in the 22 years since then, when we saw amazing sights of unity. We saw amazing sights of coming togetherness, especially at sporting events. And then we found out later it was all, or at least it seemed like it was a sham. Not the lives that were lost, not the families that were affected for the rest of their lives, but everything that went into the whole situation. And of course, the wars. Time shows all. Time can't heal all. But time also can show all, or at least show most of it. And now we are so divided. We're a country lost. We're a country desperate. We have no direction right now. We're a country that has so much infighting. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. But now we're looking all over the place trying to figure out, well, is the way that I was raised really right now? And when you know it's right, but people will tell you, a small minority of people will tell you, no, you can't think like that. You can't do that. No. Bad. Even when you know it's right. That's where we are. So in the midst of all of the nasty, the crazy, the evil, Angie says, Vic, our country is the same. She is talking about the UK. However, it is one of those situations, of course, never forget that we need to be divided, that we can't be divided. And we are divided right now and doing everything we possibly can to get our country back on the same part. And Chris says, guys, Operation Mockingbird allowed the government, and I'd seen this before, to sell the ill-informed American public to go along with the Patriot Act, which we all know is one of the worst things that's ever happened to this country. It's been on an ongoing operation to get to the point that we are now for decades.
Bingo.
These are plans in place because you can't just do something overnight. It takes time, and that's where we are. So please, our thoughts legitimately and prayers legitimately with the families of people who have lost loved ones, because we have listeners all over the country. in different parts of the country who we know dealt with that. And of course, for everybody else who had to watch and listen to everything that happened and continued to push through on that day. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Pro Joe. Sherry says Agenda 2030, time to wake up. We're not getting into Agenda 2030 today, but if you want to check that out, you can. You'll find some very fascinating video, sound information regarding what 2030 is, the taking over of not
Sherry's
only our
right.
country,
We need
but
to
the
do
world.
a show on that. It will blow some people's mind if they've not delved into that yet.
No doubt. I'm right with you. Also, switching gears just a little bit, we got to check in with Joe Biden. He's got to stop. They've got to stop him. It's not even a joke anymore. It's not just, well, conservatives are saying this. Look how bad Joe was. We're going to show you 2 clips from a presser that he had with Vietnam. Clearly, he doesn't know where he is. He's on his worldwide tour. Just check out Joe Biden. I don't even know what he was talking about, the Southern Hemisphere and Third World. And watch this as he loses track. And his coordinators, his directors, his operators, his team, they stop him. They literally stop him and start playing elevator music. This is the president of the United States.
About stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the Southern Hemisphere had access to change it, had access. It wasn't confrontational at all. He came up with
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, just to spare you from the
look,
very strange elevator
can
music
you
that just came on,
believe
the president
that
has
stuff
wrapped
that was
up.
going on?
Right, the elevator music.
No,
I mean,
Joe, we can get out, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
I mean, what in the world is that? Have you ever seen a press conference that it's just stopped and then elevator music goes on? I mean, and they really think we believe that.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He doesn't.
Guys, I mean, this isn't about yelling, screaming. You don't have to do that. We're trying to have a legitimate conversation. We're not trying to be far right. We're actually just trying to show truth. We're looking at video.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to stop. They've got to stop him. Democrats, where are you? You've got it can't be anything but Trump. You've got to get that man out of the White House. I don't care if it's Gavin Newsom. Not that I like his policies or anybody else that the Democratic Party has lined up right now, or at least that they would even consider giving a shot to. That he can't. That's running your country. You feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
No, he's gone. Listen.
No.
Check out the second clip. And national media is not showing you this because they don't care. Local media is not showing you these clips because they don't care. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest and direct about what's going on. At least Joe is being honest with us when he talks about what he's talking about right now.
Let's see. I'm just following my orders here. I have a game plan. He may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
What?
The man's tired. He wants to go to bed.
At least he's being this is the president of the United States.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? This proves right here that he doesn't know where he's at.
How can you call yourself a Democrat and legitimately say, I'm a Democrat, I voted for Biden, I support Biden? If you are not sane. I'm sorry, you're not sane, or you are not being honest.
Well, you know what? You are actually an idiot. If you see that, I hate to name call, but I am going to, because you watch that. That is obviously like Weekend at Bernie's, or it's literally the nursing home.
Bernie made me laugh.
Other countries see us as weak because
right.
Man.
Can we play that again?
Please
do.
Is
that possible? I know that sometimes
I think I already deleted it.
How can it already?
Yeah, as soon as I
play it,
no. But I can pull it back up.
Yeah, he'll pull it back up. Oh my gosh, but I want to go to bed.
Look at his face and the expression on his face when he's talking. Literally, I'm following orders. I'm just going to go to bed.
I mean, it really is. I keep wanting a liberal to come on here and look me right dead in my eyes and say, Joe Biden is doing blah, blah, blah. I saw a video last night of like a Gen Z defending it, and it was so ridiculous. He definitely was an idiot, and it scares me because a lot of Gen Zs do think that he's just this really great grandpa figure, that climate change, blah, 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 blah. This is scary, awful. He doesn't even know where he's at. His handlers are walking him around because he thinks he's in the nursing home, and he's literally looking at people like, I want to go to bed.
Just watching it, look at his facial expressions.
Let's see. I'm just following my orders here. Have a game plan. He may have a game plan.
Yeah.
He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
Okay, now
how does our president take?
Thanks for getting that back up, Joe.
And who's he taking orders from? Is it Obama? Is it somebody bigger than that? That's who he's talking about, is marching orders. He knows damn well Nancy Pelosi, Obama, whoever, Susan Rice, whatever, whoever's talking in his ear. And he's telling everybody now. So if you listen to this and you still think that someone isn't talking in your ear, you don't have a brain left in your head.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
He's on a world trip, and of course, as Glenn reminds us, KJP says he's doing a stellar job. But she's a joke too. She was put on the ticket because of her color, not because of her accomplishments, and that's sad. But in a lot of senses, that's been America. Once again, not all of America, but a few trying to push us towards a direction that is not good, that we know, to divide this country. Rob says, people, if you vote for that, then you hate this country.
Yeah,
and
100%.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with what Rob said.
No.
There's not. Kevin reminds us that mainstream media will never show you this video or all the video that we show on a weekly basis of President Biden. And unless people are watching our show or similar shows, they're not going to know because they're going about their own life. So part of me says, shame on you for not being aware of what's going on and just trusting the process. I mean, I have friends of mine that they literally think that there's nothing weird going on in this country.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, come on, get your tinfoil hats off, everything. And it's just like not a care in the world, tons of money. And they're like, oh, just.
I have friends the same way. They're like, oh, this has been this way forever. It's
much
same old
easier.
stuff.
It's much easier to have that mindset than it is to actually do deep dive, study, research, connecting dots, going, wait a second. If there's smoke, there's fire. And why would we believe that everything is just on the up and up when you start to actually take time and look at things? Because if you trust the media, you shouldn't trust anything.
Exactly. You can't trust the media. And we all know people that just go along their merry way. They barely ever watch the news.
With a lot of the national stories. That's what I mean.
Correct. They believe the national stories, and they believe there's really nothing
Christine
wrong.
says people are lazy. I get it.
They are.
Biden has not changed. It's going to get worse. I can't believe they took that man out for this longer world tour when we have so many issues. Of course, get him out of town when things are as bad as they've ever been with illegal immigration. Let's get him out of town. Get him out of town. Let's see what we can do. And that's what they've done. And it's a total bullshit tour. Nothing is going on. He's not accomplishing anything with the world tour. In fact, we're showing ourselves now. We're parading the clown parade. We're taking it on tour now. Hey, get while the getting's good in the United States.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about here in the United States. And that's scary. And we continue to see that stuff. What happens? Okay. So you've got that on one side with Biden getting out of town. This is the other situation. Eric Adams is not backing down. He's continuing to talk about how New York City's destroyed. Democratic Mayor Eric Adams, by the way, ripping the president. And by the way, as David Sparks reminds everybody, Biden is the first president since 9/11 to miss the 9/11 activities in New York City. He's now in Alaska.
That is unreal. But
if that doesn't stick a knife in your heart and twist and turn and everything else, I don't know what does. Because it's done on purpose. It's not by accident. When you're putting together a calendar, the last thing that you would do is keep the president out of 9/11 activities. And if it's done on accident, shame on you. We know it's not. And then if it's done on purpose, well, you have all you need to know. He doesn't care about America. And how do we know that? By his actions. There's nowhere that he needs to be that's more important on September 11th, especially in Alaska.
Right. What's he doing there? I mean, give me a break. I mean, well, he doesn't even know what he's doing there. He doesn't. And he's one of the first presidents. Well, no, actually, Obama was the first president that brought in a whole lot of Muslim prayer in there. So, I mean, these two men are still running the country while Obama's running the country.
Jay reminds us, guys, KJP's excuse, the White House press secretary, was that, well, presidents stopped visiting Pearl Harbor after 22 years.
Get out. I mean, the two of them need a very big lashing. I said it. They do. They need to be taken out back and lashed.
Yeah. There's more emphasis put on J6 than 9/11. No doubt about it, Glenn.
Yep.
David says he heard that Alaska has good pudding pops.
Yes. Probably very good ice cream, too. I would imagine that's why he's there. Probably vanilla.
If you're tired,
chunk.
a nap always takes precedent, coming from Paul. Trisha says his people didn't whisper in his ear. Diane says, we need poll workers, people. Let's talk about some bare minimum meat and potatoes kind of talk. We need poll workers, poll judges in the city and in the county. Otherwise, you can kiss it all goodbye. Joe Biden's gone on 9/11 while Eric Adams is calling him out for being what he is, the worst president in the history of the country, the United States. And it's not even close. There's nothing good that's going on. Okay. If you think that's bad, we showed you the video last week of migrants coming into New York City while Joe Biden isn't here for 9/11 activities. Look at what's happening in Times Square, New York City. This made me sick. I don't know what. I've shown 3 New Yorkers this video, and they didn't want to see it.
Of course they don't.
Welcome to your new New York City.
I had to be here to understand.
Hey, everybody, let's go to Times Square.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Well, I already told you last week about the trash that sits there. So they're probably walking up and down the street, kicking the trash.
Well, they're running out of money.
Yes,
the
they
mayor,
are.
Mayor Adams, according to Jay, is now cutting overtime in the police department. I heard that he was saying that he was going to do something like that. Glenn says, yeah, Jimmy Carter, hold my beer. Yeah, Carter looks competent compared to Biden, which I don't think anybody could have ever thought that could have happened.
Correct.
Just listen to the way they say J6 was as bad, if not worse, than 9/11. They, being national media, Democrats, it's been repeated over and over in the mainstream media. So the lemmings fall for the lie. Robert Peterball, this is what I said. It looked like a third world country, Times Square, New York City, because it has changed so much in just a year because of illegal immigrants, because of unhappy people, because of bad politics, because of Democrats continuing to vote Democrats, because of a sanctuary city, because Joe Biden not caring. Union Square. Helen says that looked like Union Square. Torn apart because of everything that was going on. And then Christopher says, guys, the elites want the new world order and they want it soon. The deep state is so corrupt and they want to depopulate the earth 95%. I've seen that. It's difficult for me to process 95% at this point in time, but I'm not going to say it's not going to happen or that there isn't a mission in place to try to make that happen. And Jay, I can't disagree with you. Major blue cities are third world countries now.
They are.
And they are. And why is it happening in all of the urban areas with all democratically elected leaders? Over and over, doing the same thing over and over and over again. Wasteful spending on money, no checks and balances, no opportunities for business to succeed, taxes in place to destroy small business. We're going to be government run. That's how we want to do things. And it's those people over there who, those conservatives, those white people who are making things bad. So we don't want them around, but trust us, eventually we'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
Decade goes by, decade goes by, decade goes by, things get worse. And now the illegal immigrants, illegal aliens show up. And they're going to make the problem even worse. And it makes you go, holy shit. We got some major issues that are going on. Now, we have our fun. We have our dinners. We have our sports to look at. We have our alcohol. And, it makes us forget about what's going on. And, and that's good. And we need to enjoy the life that God gave us. But at the same point in time, you need to be serious. Troy's even going as far as saying, stock up, folks, be prepared. I've never believed in trying to fearmonger.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in fact.
Yes.
But if fact makes you go stock up, then go do it.
Correct.
By what you hear, by what you see.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the whole pandemic doesn't remind you that you need to stock up, because if you look anywhere, they're going to do that again. And so you have to stock up.
Who?
The government, they're going to do the same thing.
They're going to do what
push,
again?
They're going to push the masks. They're going to push all that. I know.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think people are going to push back, but I think they're going to try it.
I think it's a diversion tactic. I think something bigger is going on.
Well, I can't blame you or I can't disagree there.
Especially with election. So if we know what's coming, I don't think they're going to do it. If let's let them think, and government, deep state. I think it's, have them thinking about this possibly coming when we're not paying about, but I don't know what else that is. It could be a plethora of things.
It could be a plethora of
things. But I've been down this road once.
Yeah. We've all been down this road.
There's no way that the 2 weeks to stop the curve. No mask. What? In schools? What? No sports? What?
Yeah.
What? No jobs? What? No stores? What?
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a cupcake? What?
Yeah.
Now if you don't get it, there's no jobs? No sports? School?
Yeah.
What?
There's a lot of people that agree with you that they think there's something bigger, and their plan was outed prematurely with the alien invasion and all of that. And a lot of people are thinking that they were planning a World War III type of situation, but they've been outed. There's so many of us that are smart that are calling it out. And that's what we got to keep doing.
I don't even think I'm smart. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we are considered smart, but I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Troy says, Vic, I think you're right. He's calling it the digital dollar.
Yeah.
Kevin's like, I do too, Vic. I think they have bigger plans for us than, quote, masking, because masking's masking.
Right.
They don't care if they're outed.
No, they don't.
Anthony says, got to make sure I make my donation to Towers Foundation. I don't know if you're being serious or joking on that. Please let me know. Kimberly says, smoke and mirrors is what we're starting to see. And my word. Karen reminds us all, the illegals get a driver's license now and almost $4,000 a month from Uncle Sam. I didn't know that would be $4,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that.
Where can I sign up?
Right. Can we go be illegals? Let's just go now and come in and change our name to Guido or Padre, and then they'll give us some money and we don't have any information.
Well, Helen, where did I just see that? Okay, Chris says, hey guys, they've put up more barricades in front of the White House, if anybody hasn't noticed. I haven't seen that. We love your interaction on the show and just getting that word out there. If true, why?
It's a scare tactic again. The same thing they did with J6. They're planning on something again, looking like somebody's coming to get them. They want to protect themselves. I mean, just think about what you just said and what the listeners just said. They're putting barricades to protect who? The government. But then they have the borders wide open. You know why? Is because they know they're flooding in. Flooding in. We're not talking anymore about a couple thousand or even 100,000. We're talking about billions of people. And they're coming in here and they're nefarious. The cartels are bringing them across the border. They're all over our country now. But wait a minute. They don't put barricades at the border. They put barricades at the White House, just like they did on J6, because they only care about themselves. They don't care about the people.
Well, Christina says, watch Nancy Drew. She goes to Washington all the time.
Well, Nancy Drew was smart.
And speaking of Nancy Pelosi at 83 says she's going to run to try to get her office back.
She is. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And she says she's doing it so that she can gain money to go after Republicans all across the country to try to stop them. So she's trying to basically do what she can there. Hey, by the way, too, as you guys jump in with your comments and giving us information, as we're kind of up to the minute podcasting, up to the second, literally, Robert says, here's what it is. Universal basic income, $2,000 a month after agreeing. This is after agreeing to be chipped in the wrist. It's coming. All right, Robert, you're on there.
Yeah, and there's truth to that for sure. And I definitely think that Nancy Pelosi is going to run, and it's, yes, for money. Of course it's for money, but it's also, she needs to stay there to continue to harbor all of the same people with her because they have so much to hide. They cannot let even a new Democrat in there unless they're already in the program.
Chris says, Vic, I think you're being a little naive. That's very possible. I've seen too many people out in public still falling for it. I guess you're talking about masking. I don't know. Will they do more than what they did the last time? Absolutely. The digital dollar and putting the WHO, World Health Organization, in charge of our country's medical response to medical emergencies. The WHO is in response now. I mean, they are in charge of any medical emergencies. Yeah, I think it can happen, but you get over on people by them not knowing. And this keeps us all tidied up with a lot of talk because anytime we talk COVID, people get interested. Anytime we talk cupcake, people get interested because it affected us so dearly in our everyday lives of everything that was coming.
Correct.
As Cindy says, what did the Simpsons say?
We need to check that out because
Glenn
I'm sure
reminds
they
us
have
the
something.
chip in biblical speaking terms is the mark of the beast. And of course, Trisha says, I'm seeing more masks lately at stores. Okay. And once again, I don't want to turn, we're not going to turn, I don't want to turn into mask. If people want to wear a mask, they want to get cupcaked, do it. Just don't push it on us. I mean, those are our conservative values, right? Hey, you can't do this. You can't do that. But just don't, if you want to go do it, go do it. As long as you're not affecting us and hurting us and forcing us to do what you're doing, no, we're not going to jump into that. So that's where that goes. I mean, I don't think it's going to go. I think something bigger than freaking mask.
Oh, I do too. And I agree that it's a diversion. But they're going to mask people. They are going to scare them.
Especially when you've got Biden as bad as he is. And Democrats will never see that video, by the way, that we show. Do we not show something with Biden on a weekly basis?
On a daily basis. Yeah. It's a daily basis.
I'm not, there's at least something once a week, at maybe 2 days, 3 days, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Yes.
So something else is coming.
I think there's going to be another lockdown.
Lockdown.
I do too. I do
COVID,
too.
Or whatever the new strain is, or whatever is getting ready to hit us.
I do too.
Well, Democrats know that when it comes to the election, there's no way that a Joe Biden, if he's running, and I still contest, and I've said this for months, that there's no way he's running. That he just can't.
Right.
Not when you see the videos and the situations that we do now that are happening all over this country. I know that, especially when J6 is being pushed so hard, and it all became what happened with 2020's election. And I saw this video come down the other day, this election video. And if people don't think that there was election fraud or haven't watched 2000 Mules, of course, they're not going to, you're not going to win them over. You're just not. But you watch this video here because it shows you, and this is something that I never knew when it came to individual states. Lizzie, when you see this video, it'll blow your mind.
Okay.
Because as we get that video ready, just let me know, Joe, when we're ready to go with it.
I'm looking for it. I don't see an election video.
President Trump won every single state where it was day of voting. Get the even Delaware, the home state of Joe Biden, he won every state. Joe Biden won every state in the country where there was mail-in balloting.
Of course.
Even Missouri.
Yes. And that's the thing.
Does that not blow your mind and show you something of what's going on? There is no, I'm like, what?
Most people are like you. This blowing their mind.
Here's the video. Just look at this.
Two strange things about the 2020 U.S. election that most people didn't know. As per 538.com, Trump, with some margin for error, won the in-person vote in every single U.S. state, even deeply Democratic ones, like Biden's home state of Delaware. Every single one. Whereas Biden won the mail-in vote in every single U.S. state, even deeply Republican ones. And in 2020, mail-in ballots, where no one had to show up to verify their identity, went from 29 million in 2016 to 66 million in 2020. Such a stark difference in who wins the in-person or mail-in vote seems unlikely to occur naturally, but you decide.
Yeah, you decide. We bring it to you. Kevin says, yep, Vic, I saw that. What a joke. Joe Biden, somehow, of his 80 million vote, 66 million were mail-in.
Mm-hmm.
He had 66 million mail-in ballots. There's no way in hell.
No.
And there's no
way.
Democrat that can tell you honestly, yeah, he had 66 million. Democrats are just voting by mail-in, and Republicans are the stupid ones going to the day of, and they want to stand in line.
Yeah. They do say that. Exactly what you said. Democrats are saying that. Why are you so dumb when you can have all of your food delivered at home?
It's basic, but it's genius.
All of this mailed. It is genius. But didn't you see that when it
There's
away?
no way in hell. No way in hell.
right away when they started in the mail-in ballots, people who were already figuring this out were already like, shit, they're going to steal the election. And there were still a lot of conservatives that did not believe that. And I'm like, you don't see that?
It's because the conservatives are like some of my friends that go, do you really believe all that? Hey, is it, hey, Biden just won. People didn't like Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are some of my friends who consider themselves hardcore conservatives.
Correct.
But they don't have a care in the world they've got tons of money. They have a good life, the good, comfortable life. Do you really think that's happening?
Yeah, people say that.
Come on, tinfoil guy. You just doing that for ratings. I'm like,
no, we're saying the truth is what we're saying.
Jessica says, I used to honestly think the reason they opened the borders were for votes. Now I do not believe that. Those borders are open for something much bigger. I agree.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say, I quote, agree, and not just say I agree, is because you also have a lot of those people that are, they're not, and we're being told this, and John, our friend John Rourke, who had his weekend in Brownstown, Operation Border Cleanup, said that they don't like Biden. So I'm not buying into that fact either, that illegals are going to vote and they're going to vote Joe Biden. I don't think they want to put their names on anything either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, there's so many, it's hard to figure it out right now. Jessica says Chinese nationals at the border in droves. Yes, we've seen the video of that happening.
Yep.
Paul says it's a distraction and chaos only. But when you see that video, if that doesn't show you 100% what mail-in is doing, and this is why I've always said be careful about who you think is going to win this or win that when it comes to the voting process. Can that actually happen at the state level? Yes. Can it happen at a local level?
Mm-hmm. It does happen.
And then it's like, oh my God, here we go. And then Jay says most of the Hispanics are conservative religious people. I've heard that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember how in the hell Joe Biden wins every state by mail-in balloting and Donald Trump wins every state the day of voting.
Correct. That speaks volumes.
There is no better stat to show what happened with the 2020 election than that.
Yep. Well, and Christopher's saying that he thinks we're going to get invaded by China and Russia, and I don't disagree with him. That's why you see just buses and buses of Chinese men of military age at the border and now all over our country.
I disagree. Derek Pratt, going to a local standpoint in the St. Louis area, St. Louis County executive, arguably one of the worst in America, Sam Page, he got elected twice. He didn't get elected with fake votes. He got elected because I'm telling you, low turnout. And vote, and St. Louis County is Democrat.
Yes.
St. Louis conservatives don't want to hear it, but St. Louis County is predominantly Democrat. They are. And until St. Louis County proves otherwise, they are a Democratic county. And that's what they do. So there you go. And they haven't elected a Republican to that position in over 30 years. And I don't know if when they created that position, if they've ever had a conservative in that position. Every ballot needs a number. Great point, Pam. That would be great if they did, but they don't, and it's not coming, and it's certainly not going to happen in the 2024 election, which is why I always tell our co-host Eric, do you really feel Republicans are turning around? Do you really feel like the backlash is going to be there? Because if you do, that means you have to say that you think that everything's on the up and up with voting. And he still believes that Joe Biden won fair and square in 2020. So I say, do you really feel Joe Biden would win fair and square in 2024? And he looked at me and he laughed.
Right. He laughed.
Because he knows Joe Biden can't win fair and square.
He does. He does know that. And I think he's not said this, but I think now that he knows that in 2024 he can't win, people like Eric are great to debate with because they primarily think that America is still good, but they're waking up and they're like, damn, maybe they didn't win in 2020 because there's more people like Eric than the people on our chat line who are so smart. And I'm not saying Eric isn't smart. Eric's very smart, but he wants to live, as I do too, in the 80s where we didn't get this was going on. But now it's right in front of Eric's face and he has to face it. And so does so many other people that are wondering, gosh, why did I just go to the supermarket and my bag of chips used to be $2.50 and now it's $5.75 and the chip bag is half the size and it's half empty. So, I mean, they have to understand this is going on. They have to. And if they don't, they're willfully choosing to put their head right in the ground and bury it.
Well, it's a pride issue. And I've talked about it before because most people that I've met would rather go down with the ship than admit that they're wrong.
Yes. Yes.
In a lot of cases, just say you're sorry.
Yeah.
A lot of people close to me cannot even say they're sorry. We all screw up. We all mess up. Apologize. Say you're sorry.
Every day,
move on.
People screw up. But you're right. People's pride, they can't.
It's the greatest sin of all.
It is. It is.
And it rears its ugly head in a variety of different ways. Unfortunately, just, hey, listen, I screwed up. It's all right. We're human. We were born to screw up. We're not going to be all intelligent all the time. We're not going to have all the answers. Derek Pratt, the color of UN soldiers' helmets and uniforms are the same blue color that was not destroyed in Maui. I know. And then if you really want to go down the rabbit hole in the conspiracy theory, it also, the UN has something to do with fallen angels as well, Derek. Go look it up. It's life right now coming from Christina. Yeah, I know. And here you go. Brenda says, but I still know so many people who love Joe Biden. They love the aura. Hey, old Joe, you get behind old Joe and, we love Joe. He cares about us and he's our old guy that's or anything but Trump. And we've seen it over and over and it continues to happen. By the way, this is Cancel This, CancelThisShow.com. Special thanks to Complete Auto Body Repair, Curtis Sparks and crew. We're going to be talking with Sandy Travis a little bit later this week regarding jobs that they have open over there. They're always looking to hire. We have people who come onto this show, listen to our show. They have gone in for interviews. They love them. Whether it's working as a tech, where you're going to make more money there than you are anywhere else, and work in climate-controlled conditions, 7 places across the St. Louis area. You can go to CompleteAB.com. Let them know that you heard about it and Cancel This. They'll take great care of you. Also, Strategic Air Services, the best in private / luxury flying. StrategicAirServices.net, StrategicAirServices.net. Kevin and crew doing the best to make your flights as great and quick and comfortable as possible. And it may shock you how affordable flying private is, especially when you consider how many people you may have on a flight going somewhere and the location, what kind of plane you may fly. It's all up to you. There's lots of options. Give them a call. They're also always looking for pilots and looking for workers at strategicairservices.com as well. We had Todd Hussein from VPC Network, Vehicle Protection Group, last week. Contact Todd at vpcnetwork.com. They're looking for a couple employees just to answer phone calls, literally taking phone calls regarding incoming calls with people who want to buy car warranties. You're not calling anybody. People are calling. You pick up the phone. You're trained in about a week to 2 weeks, and they're top people making 6-figure monies. We do our Weed Wednesday segment, Greenlight Dispensary. Go to our website, canceltheshow.com. You can download that coupon that we show you, take it in for a discount. They had their underground sale over the weekend. I heard they had hundreds and hundreds of people again getting product at a very low price. It's the largest distributorship in the state, largest dispensary, gives you the best products when it comes to a variety and the best prices as well. Check out greenlightdispensary.com, greenlightdispensary.com. We appreciate them jumping in with us as well. And of course, Kathy Helbig-Strick and Steve Strict, Experienced Real Estate Partners, New American Funding. When it comes to the best realty group in the state, you look no further than the most experienced with Kathy and her team. There's a reason she's been doing this for just under 30 decades and still having serious success, despite the market being what it is. She comes in on Wednesdays. If you're buying, selling, have friends, loved ones, whatever, give them a call. There's no pressure. They'll advise you the right way. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes that's difficult to accept. But if you want to make sure that you're going the right route, give Kathy and her team a call, experiencerealestatepartners.com. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. We're rocking the show September 11th, the 22nd anniversary of 9/11. 2,799 lives officially lost. We know it's more than that. And so many others suffering from the effects of racing in as first responders that day, people still dealing with the loss of loved ones. Never forget, never forget, never forget. It's easy to say that, but you have to say it. You have to show the pictures. You have to talk about it. And you can't let that kind of thing happen. And it can't ever be normalized in any sort of situation because of what happened to us. And while we debate whether it was our own country and certain individuals that were in on it, whether we debate whether we knew that this was going to happen and we didn't stop it, the fact remains is that American lives were lost, and we got to do whatever we can to make sure that crap like that doesn't ever happen again. And Derek's remind me, also the merch store, we have local pickup available. By the way, cancelthisshow.com. If you go to our website, you can click. How do you click on it? Can you pull that up when you get a chance again? So you go to our website, and I think it says merch. It's a blue button, right? I was on that Friday.
Yes.
We have all kinds of items there. Local pickup, all kinds of cups, shirts, drinking devices, hats. Oh, can you stop? Can you click on the one with the stars in the hat? I love this hat. Cancelthisshow.com hat. And check out the different pictures. You got the Cancel This gray on the front and the stars and stripes on the back. Outstanding design, Derek. Love that. Inside out custom designs. Nice. Nice. I'm sure that one will be flying off. Local pickup. More designs are coming as well. If you guys have ideas, let us know. Like I said, the show's about you guys. That's why we come here. I'm curious. I think we've already had a Trump shirt sold.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Trump lives matter.
Yes.
Or Donald Trump's life matters. Once again, more designs coming. We appreciate you checking out the merch store. Local pickup available. This is cancelthisshow.com. Once again, there's so many stories that are going on. This is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting as we cover those stories, but there is something that I wanted to jump into real quick too. Let's have some fun with this. I mean, Donald Trump's flags continue to flow all throughout New York City.
Love it.
And New
Love
York's
that
been in the
so
news a
much.
lot because of immigration. But last week we showed you a flag, a Donald Trump flag being lowered at Yankard Stadium by fans. This is the second time it happened this season. Well, it happened a third time over the weekend. Trump, that's him at Iowa State. We'll get to that in just a second. Trump had another Yankees or a flag dropped at Yankee Stadium.
Love it.
And here it is. This is just great seeing this everywhere.
I love that so much. And you know what? You were talking about that, the Yankee Stadium. This weekend, I went to the grocery store. Now, granted, I live more in God's country than other places, but I was just at the supermarket and there was cars with flags. And we had a big flag run, in St. Charles County. But even so, people had America shirts. They had flags. Flags are going up all over my neighborhood. And it's so heartwarming to live in an area that loves our country. It's just, they're all over the place and makes my heart so happy.
Well, Angie says Trump sent a flag to Wells to support them, Vic. Yeah, that would be great. I love the fact that you're seeing it because you do see the support all over this country for Donald Trump. You see zero support for Joe Biden.
None.
There's hardly any support. And if anybody wants to doubt the fact that Donald Trump is going to win Iowa, look at the crowd. Joe was just showing this video. Donald Trump, in the midst of everything else and being attacked by joke indictments, he was at the Iowa State football game over the weekend, Jack Trice Stadium. And look at the crowd. These people were standing there for Donald Trump. Watch Trump kind of walk through. Look at the cameras up. Everybody wants a piece of Trump. This USA chance. He's going to dominate the Iowa vote. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to piss other Republican followers off and make somebody else. He's going to win. I mean, that's the scene at a college football game. They're more excited about Trump than the game.
That's so beautiful. And that's why I really thought the election was stolen 2020. I went to so many rallies and so many events that looked just like this. And then you would see, programming of Biden sitting there in a circle with everybody in a mask on and nobody was there. I mean, you have to be, and I say it again, an idiot, or your head is so far in the ground and you're oversensitive because you can't stand tweets. How in the world do you
it's not about
see
tweets
that?
anymore.
It isn't. It is for some people, though. It literally is. Somebody on our chat line today said they're still defending him because Biden, get this, brings decorum into the office. Come on, man. Give me something real.
Real. No, but this is what I love about Donald Trump, because he lets you know. He put this out on Truth Social. Joe, these were pictures that I sent you regarding quotes for President Trump, and he's explaining what's happening, because not one, not two, not three, not four indictments were enough to push this man down. His polling, his numbers continue to go higher and higher. You see the crowds wherever he goes. You see the flags wherever he goes. America knows he's the best man for the top job in 2024 at this time. There is no doubt. It's by an overwhelming amount. And you can't believe the polling that's out there that even has Joe Biden close to him. We already know. We've shown you what's happened with the 2020 election. We even shown you ideas of how the hell one man could win every state with voting the day of, and Joe Biden wins every state with mail-in ballots. It's not true. It could not happen in a legitimate form. It could not happen. And Joe, if you don't see it, maybe I didn't send it to you. And if I didn't,
I don't see any. I have a couple of graphics, but they're not. They don't have anything. One's Elon Musk, and the other one.
Well, here I will show you here again.
Awesome.
And we'll get that. We'll get that one going to you. But so Trump says everybody's coming after him. The full court press is on, because we know if there gets to an election, Trump's going to win. He will not lose. And everybody's doing whatever they can to go after him. Case in point, guess what we have now? Trump has now called out Soros' son.
Oh, I love that.
Who has taken over the enterprise. And his son hates the fact that Donald Trump is so popular now that he is stating that he is going to divert all money, divert all attention towards, guess what? Not promoting Democratic causes, not helping people, not helping less fortunate, as they've tried to come under the guise of for so long. Now he's going after Donald Trump to stop the Trump train.
You betcha.
And once again, the more attacks on Donald Trump, you have to think, okay, this has to be the guy for us. If big government, if the liberals are going after him so hard, if the big, nasty, dirty money from international places is all coming in to go after this one man who could walk away in a heartbeat and live the most amazing life, but instead drives to work every day and does everything he can to be literally crushed, to be put in a situation where he is made fun of, he is ripped, he puts himself out there in every sense of the word. Well, here you go. Donald Trump putting out this information. Quote, "We can't let this spoiled little degenerate win. He's talking about Soros' son. This after he is shifting his resources to focus on defeating Trump in 2024. And this was the plan all along. Quote, his daddy, talking about George Soros, controls the DAs, the district attorneys. And we already know that. That's a fact. It's not. We had Kim Gardner who told us, yeah, I take money from George Soros. And that means, you fall in line.
Mm-hmm.
He also controls the attorney generals in America. Not all of them, but in Democratic states, many of them.
Yes.
They are destroying our country. Mitch McConnell is helping them do it by doing nothing. And we all know that Mitch is an embarrassment, needs to leave office too. And oh, yeah, by the way, he's a Republican. He needs to be gone already. It's an embarrassment to the Republican Party. Get tough Republicans. Now, the second part of his statement that Donald Trump put out is he says, I will name the place and the test, and it will be a tough one. Nobody will come even close to me. We can also throw some physical activity into it. I just won the senior club championship at a big golf club. He's talking about how he is fit.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go, how there is a massive difference between him and Joe Biden. I won this at a big golf club with many very good players. To do so, you need strength, accuracy, touch, and above all, mental toughness. I love him. It's great. He's bragging. He won the tour.
Good. Keep bragging away.
I love it. Ask Brett Baer from Fox, a very good golfer. The Wall Street Journal and Fox are damaged goods. I repeat, he says the Wall Street Journal and Fox are damaged goods after their failed, sanctimonious push and stupid $780 million settlement. Morons, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
And this is why someone on the chat line said that they thought he doesn't have decorum because he calls people morons. But I'm sure that the same people would think I don't have decorum because I call the same people he called morons idiots. Because going back to when we were talking about 9/11, who was so evil is the same people today. Mitch McConnell is a Republican, and I vote Republican, but I'm not a Republican because the Republicans in and of themselves are as bad to us as the Democrats. I mean, we're facing such a corrupt regime that we need people like Donald Trump on Truth Social to call out the morons. And he's doing a great job of that. And you know what? Look at, like you just showed the video of these events and these rallies. So many people also think what's going on is moronic and idiotic.
Whether they're afraid to say so.
A lot of them are afraid to say it. They are.
I'm telling you, the cancel culture crap is dying. It is.
Yes, thank God.
And when you have people who stand up against it and you have numbers, you end it. Just like a fire. If you sit back and do nothing, the fire spreads. If you stand up and you put that fire out, guess what? It's gone. It takes numbers. You can't be afraid. You have to stand up in the midst of all of the stuff that's going on. Donald Trump is upsetting people because he's calling them out. He's not going along, and that's why there is such a push against him, because they know what will happen. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crap that still goes on in this country that pulls people's attention from it. And we've been showing you and talking about those things that are going on here on cancelthisshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. I guess I'll do it now. You guys, I was going to wait to the end of the show, but I wanted to wrap up the political side of things. This is funny. This is a video, I thought, and it goes to show what Joe Biden is. And it was a video that was done with a commercial, a mock hypothetical commercial for Joe Biden and family, like playing dolls. In the movie of Barbie, the Barbie movie came out.
Yes.
A lot of people had Barbie dolls. Well, did you know you can get Biden dolls now?
Oh, I can't wait to get one.
Yes, you can get Biden dolls.
I'm going to get me one.
Here, check out the video.
Very own magic set and a toy laptop. Just don't lose it or you could get in trouble. And then there's my late son, Bo, a true American hero. Bo was lost during his Iraq service, but thankfully for America, not before he captured Saddam Hussein. My daughter, Ashley Biden, is also included. She has her very own diary, and you can pretend she's writing all her secrets. Just don't lose it in the cushions or you could get in trouble. Next, my son's better half and daughter-in-law, Hallie Biden. She comes with mix and match outfits, which go with either Bo or Hunter. You'll also get a set of 6 Biden grandchildren. Who knows, there might be more. Finally, the set includes the Joe doll. You can pose me in up to 18 different sleeping positions. Joe also has realistic falling action. Oh no, oops, not again. You can have hours of fun playing with me in the Joe's Basement play set. Buy the whole set, and you'll also receive the White House dollhouse. This incredible house comes with its own powerful bubble of justice so that no matter what happens, your dolls stay safe and protected.
But that's not all. Act now, and for a limited time, you'll also receive Dark Brandon. Powered by MAGA tears, Dark Brandon has real laser eyes and is the hero you deserve. Dark Brandon comes with detachable wings and working motorcycle. Brandon is a tantalizing blend of power, mystery, and magnetism carved from the night itself. Here's your chance to truly own the libs. Buy today. Mander the Family Dog sold separately.
Hunter comes with his very...
That is so funny. One of the listeners sent that to us, and I'm laughing so hard. But you know what struck me? 2 things. That pink suit was on point. I would have liked to have had her pink suit. But the other thing is, do you hear the voice? Did you hear the voice? It sounded a lot like him. That shows where it's real easy
it's
to
AI.
have. Right.
Yeah.
It's so easy then that they
That's
can be
another
doing
scary
AI.
topic we've talked about from our AI show.
But it was so clear and concise.
It was.
Yeah, it was well put together. You can tell. That's how you
It's not
know
like
it
a good
him.
Biden, though.
Correct.
Not
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm going to go to sleep. I go to sleep.
Oh, I'm going to go to sleep. That's so funny. Yeah, that was the crisp olden days Joe Biden. That's good.
Having some fun on Cancel This because there's so much other crap that's going on. Did you guys see? Okay. I don't know how the school district did this, but they're facing backlash right now. You had an elementary school that really thought it was a good idea to hire a drag queen as principal.
Don't even get me started. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I laugh and I shouldn't be laughing, but I'm like, this actually happened. They hired a drag queen. Now and I sent you a picture of her, Joe.
Yeah, I got it.
This happened in Oklahoma. There's your principal.
My gosh. If I walked in and
girls
saw
and
that,
boys.
What?
Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Yeah.
Big Mama.
Now, the superintendent of the, you can keep this picture up. The superintendent of the state of Oklahoma has called for the immediate termination of this drag queen who goes by the name Chantel Mandalay.
And this is Oklahoma, not New York or Illinois. Think about that. This is Oklahoma. That's one of the reddest states in the union. And look at somebody hires. That is ridiculous. And look at that. The tongue sticking out. What in the hell is that? I mean, come on. What would you do? What would you do, Vic, if you walked in to a school and she said, "Hi, I'm whatever her name is."
This may be the drag queen reader of the school. Let me see. I want to make sure I have this right because the Walters, the superintendent of the state of Oklahoma, is criticizing. He's basically saying that this is liberal insanity.
It is liberal insanity.
But I want to make sure he says that they hired the Western Heights School District, calling it outrageous and expressing concern of parents. The drag queen in question has a controversial past with child pornography charges nearly 20 years ago that were later dropped. So the charges were dropped, but reading books I'm trying to figure I wanted to make sure this was the person that we're showing you that was the principal and not just somebody who was reading. There's so many of these situations that continue to happen. The school district released a statement saying that Dr. Mernon has been serving the field of education for more than 25 years and has an outstanding reputation. He comes highly recommended from previous supervisors, colleagues, and educators. And he, as the drag queen being hired, makes everything, and it complicates the issue.
Of course it complicates the issue. Of course it does. Like, regardless if it was that lady Chantel or whatever her name is on that scream, think about it. Somebody in our schools looks like that, or in our libraries. They look like that. And so many people walk in, see it, and they don't like it, and they might turn around with their kids, but they don't say anything. anything. People have got to start saying something. So if you walk in and you see that's your kid's principal, you need to raise holy hell, because that's weird. This isn't Halloweenville. I mean, that's your kids. They're supposed to be learning math and science and reading. And instead we're learning about somebody's anatomy and what they're going to do with their tongue.
And there's a follow-up to that. And here's the other part of this where problems can happen when kids can't just go to school and be boys and girls. And here's what happens, because I don't care if it happens once in a million times. It happened once, and it never should have happened once.
Exactly.
It wasn't by chance. It was by choice of allowing boys to act like girls who can hurt girls in a variety of ways, whether it's sports or whether it's something else, like a classroom, like a bathroom. Well, case in point, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin pardoned a Loudoun County father whose daughter had been sexually assaulted/raped in a school bathroom by a boy who was pretending to be a girl wearing a miniskirt. So to give you the backdrop of the story, Scott Smith, the dad, Scott Thomas Smith, he was actually convicted of obstruction of justice and disorderly conduct after he had to be removed, Lizzie, forcibly from a school board meeting. He attended the meeting following the assault on his daughter.
Yeah.
This happened back in 2021.
Yeah.
What would you do as a parent? He appealed to the circuit court, and the obstruction of justice conviction was dismissed. So Youngkin had to do this. They said that a trial on the disorderly conduct conviction was scheduled for later this month before Youngkin dismissed him. But how dare the school board press charges against him for coming in there and trying to do something about what happened to his daughter? And a judge wouldn't take care of it. Youngkin said this judge, liberal judge, trying to pull a political stunt. Youngkin said, quote, this is the governor. He's a big dude. He's running for president, or might be running for president. Says, quote, this is an unprecedented and inappropriate intervention into an active legal case. He chose to interfere in the legal process and not for justice for political gain. He was talking about a Democrat there, the Commonwealth's attorney for Loudoun County, who was trying to push forward. Now, what happened was there was a boy who went into the bathroom where his daughter was and forced sex on her.
That's
raped
unbelievable.
Her in a bathroom at school.
Yeah, this wasn't even like the Target bathroom. This was their school. That is, I don't know many dads that wouldn't do what he did.
Yeah, that teen, by the way, the boy acting like a girl, is on the sex offender registry list for the rest of his life. He was sent to a residential treatment facility.
Good.
And will be on probation until he's 18.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I don't know a dad, unless they think this is okay, that wouldn't literally go and probably kill that kid. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I don't know how that kid is still alive, because most dads would go, I mean, I've got four out of the 5 of mine, and I'm not sure who would go hurt that kid. And I'm not a violent person. I don't ever pull my gun, but you rape my kid at school and take away her innocence for the rest of her life. Where can she go then? Yeah, she'll never go out of her house.
The boy was alleging that he was gender fluid.
Oh, get out of that.
Whatever the hell that
bullshit.
means.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. But this is why
it means you're confused.
You can't
it means someone confused you.
Well, they're all confused.
Yes, that's what it means. And I feel bad for the kids. Don't get me wrong.
And these are kids.
They are kids. I feel
They're
bad
under
for the kids.
18.
Yes.
I mean, these are kids. And this is where the slippery slope happens. We've said on the show, hey, if you're over 18, 21, you're an adult, whatever, and you want to change yourself or do whatever you want to yourself, that's between you and your maker.
Well, and Cindy's
but
absolutely
the problem
right. This is coming to a school board or to a school near us. This is. It absolutely is.
This is one of the sickest stories and frustrating stories. If you're a dad, if you're a kid, you're a mom, that this kind of stuff can happen. And like, oh, you're supposed to be accepting. And these are the kind of things that try to pull heartstrings into certain places, because guess what? This isn't the first time it's happened.
Correct. You have to go to the bathroom,
and this
which
dad,
what your genitalia is.
This dad was listed as a domestic terrorist.
That's crazy.
Because he went to fight for his daughter at the school, because the school is responsible, because they let this boy acting like a girl go into the bathroom where the assault took place.
Yes. And where did it become?
There's no backing this.
There is no backing.
There's no argument for this.
It's mental illness gone wild that is hurting people. It really is. I mean, if you are doing that and you're a kid dressed as the opposite sex and you're 9 or whatever, you're a confused kid who has all kinds of issues. And it is, and several people on the chat line are saying, and I agree with them wholeheartedly, this is on the school. You can't maybe control, the school maybe can't control what's going on at home. Say if the school doesn't even have the DEI and the fluidity talk or whatever. However, you let a boy go dressed as a girl. Where was that teacher? Where was that teacher? Why is this okay? That teacher should be on chopping blocks right there. Now, if it's a school that allows it, oh hell, pull your kid out so fast.
No, they did. This is why the dad went back to the school board.
Exactly. Of course they did.
Stop letting the inmates run the asylum.
Yes.
And these are inmates running the asylum.
It is.
When they're saying that boys can use girls' bathrooms because that's how they identify. I mean, come on. Let's have a serious conversation.
Yeah,
here.
that's not even serious.
I mean, once again, we know right from wrong. We know black from white.
Mm-hmm.
We know hot from cold.
Yes.
We know good from evil. We do. The problem is you'll have a few people try to make you as a human start to overthink things and go, well, maybe boys can become girls, and maybe God's plan was not right in the first place. Maybe there is no God. Maybe all those, and then before you know it, you're allowing a little bit.
Yes.
And then a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And the slippery slope effect happens with everything in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Jeannie has a good suggestion. If these teachers feel so sorry for it, let them go in the adult bathroom.
The kids should be thought about first and foremost.
Yes.
And they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a couple parents who go, well, my kid wants to be a girl. And they should have that right to be a girl. And they're backing them. And that was at the heart of Washington University and a case here in the state of Missouri. It's like, well, you have parents pushing it. Well, my kid, he was born to be a girl. He's acted like a girl since he was born. So he should be a girl. Okay, really? Well, that's between you and God. But don't be trying to force all the things. If then you go have your own private lifestyle, we're not going to force your life because you're choosing to do something on other people.
Yes.
That's where the problems start to occur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your boy wants to be a girl and then play sports with mine. Yeah. Good luck.
Right. Yeah.
Get your ass out of here. Go find another place to go to school and do that, because that's not how we do things here. Meaning that's how the superintendents need to take these things. You can't do this to the rest of the population.
Yes.
And this is a case in point where a girl had her life ruined because the school district wanted to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you play the game, that's what happens. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And that's what happens.
Exactly. And like Bindy's saying, what does it even mean for a kid to act like a girl? And people in the chat line are saying on all the different chat lines saying it's happening at their school district. And I won't.
What's happening?
It's boys and girls bathrooms. It's happening. And like I had told you just last week, my daughter was playing a volleyball game where a boy was on the team and they felt sorry for the boy. No one called it out. No one said a word but me. And I tried to be nice about it. And I'm not going to reiterate what I said, but it was like, why are people thinking this is okay? I guess they won't when your kid's nose gets broke, when your girl's nose gets broke, or your kid is raped in the bathroom, but you won't stand up until that happens to your kid. Wake up, people. And it's not the people on the chat line or the people that are listening to this podcast because they're lockstep. However, there's many people that we have friends of, and maybe we do have some people that lean differently than we do on this topic. I would love to have one of them, if you're listening, to tell me why it's okay that a boy can go in a girl's bathroom at the age of 14, probably either an 8th grader or a freshman.
Yeah, there is nothing. And here's the thing. These kinds of feelings are natural.
Mm-hmm.
They happen. It's just about I have feelings. I'm attracted to a man. I'm attracted to a woman. These are real feelings. They're real things that need to be addressed by professionals. They're not fake. They're real feelings that people have. And people have feelings about wanting to change sex. Those are real feelings that people have. Now, You can have professionals decide whether these are good feelings or bad feelings. Are they anxiety? Is it some sort of mental illness? That's what they can talk through when they go through those things. Case in point, Trisha Lynn, she just posted, I wanted to be a boy when I was younger. Thank God it was a different time and someone wasn't right there telling me that I need to be or making it easy for me to be so. Think about that.
Yes.
Donna says it's simple, a cry for attention.
It is. It is an attention cry. And Tracy's saying that her daughter had a soccer game in Kansas City and there was a boy on the other team and she was very rough and it is not okay. And people are doing a lot of things for attention from the history of time. And Eric has said this on the show back in the 80s, they might have been the emo or whoever they were or the burnout or whatever. I was definitely a tomboy. And like Trisha, thank God that my parents just let me be a tomboy. And I remember once saying, because I once walked in on my dad who was peeing and I said to my mom, I want to be a boy because I want to pee like that. There was no discussion. My mom and dad said, but you're not. Sit on the toilet. You're a girl. I mean, it was just as simple as that. And so I never thought I was anything else. And I knew I better not be a boy. So parents need to say that to their kids. If they don't, and they don't do that, they're going to have a child that is going to be hurting because they need the truth. They want truth.
Well, that's one part of it. The other part, which I was talking about, is you don't want these situations to happen. And there's no reason for girls to be assaulted in bathrooms by boys pretending to be girls in the first place. If you make it open for that, you're asking for trouble. And then it's not fair.
Yes.
For young kids to not know how to respond to other kids.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy stuff.
Well, to respond to other kids who are transitioning or acting like they're a boy when they're a girl, but look like a boy. I thought my son was the only person who dealt with this, but I recently heard another person's child had the same thing happen. My son was at a dance last year. And he was at a new place with his girlfriend, and the school that she goes to is super, super, super liberal at Eric's Hall. And they promote Joe Biden. They promote liberal ideas. They promote, and my son's like, Dad, that's what they do. They were meeting at a party, and there were, what he found out later, were two girls going together, but one was dressed like a boy. With a short haircut, a guy's haircut, full suit, talked and walked like a guy. They got introduced. He's like, hey, how you doing, dude? And then the woman, young girl, ripped my son, cussed at him up and down about him not being respectful, not understanding. Yeah, you need to respect me and don't call me a dude. And he's like, I'm sorry. You look like it. And my son, who has the biggest heart in the world,
he probably felt awful.
An argument. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably felt
so
awful.
That's the kind of bullshit that the rest of us should not have to deal with. Because you're going through a time in your life right now where you're doing what you want to do, but somebody can't recognize because you're playing dress up.
Right. You can't tell. You do. And there's been many a times people have done exactly what happened to your son. People don't know what to say. Hi, he, she, this, that. This is happening in our police academies. A friend of my son just went through the police academy and literally they had this training about how to address people like that, because you will accelerate a problem if you don't know what they are. And so they're like, well, what do we do? He goes, you got to, literally the police academy said, you got to figure out their pronouns. He's like, what if I don't know what they look like? How do I know? So you're best to just find out what their name is. I don't know if their name is Gladys, say hi Gladys, not he, she, I don't know. But
kids have it. I'm just telling
hurts
you,
my
kids
head.
18 and under have it more difficult now than any generation has ever had it.
I know.
Sorry,
I feel sorry for the kids today. I really do. I feel sorry for the kids even going through this, because someone, and it's usually the schools, it usually isn't the parents, somewhere on the line, all of us have identity issues when we're a kid. We might want to be a boy, might want to be a girl, might think that they're a pothead, might think they're a sports person, a jock, a frock, all these things. I mean, there's always labels.
What's a frock?
When I went into high school, when I was in high school, you were either
Isn't
a
that
jock.
article of clothing?
Well, I was in my high school, and this was Francis Howe. You were either a jock, an athlete, or you were a freak, which would be called a burnout, like a pothead. If you were a little bit of both, you were a frock, and you were put in those 3 categories at Francis Howell in the 80s.
Yeah, but you're old like me.
I am old, but it's still happening to all these kids today. They're put into categories and names. Okay, so you're a football player.
I didn't think there were still silos. I thought it was more open now.
Well, it is, but people still, think about it, Vic. Everybody wants to be in a group. Everybody wants to belong.
Do you remember how the hippies?
Yeah.
You remember how the hippies of the '60s turned into the yuppies of the '80s?
Yes, yes.
Our woke crowd is going to be somebody else in another 10 years.
Yes.
And they're going to think completely differently.
They are. You're exactly right. And that's the travesty of all this, because every generation has these things. Just like you're saying, there were the yuppies and the hippies and then this. But the generation now that would be the yuppies and the hippies and the emos and the frocks, they now are being taught, hey, you now have to be somebody different. So if you're that emo person, you now might be a boy if you're a girl. You might be a girl if you're a boy. And hey, while you're at it, chop your penis off. And Joe's right. 10 years from now, I bet the majority, we don't know the statistics, so this is just my opinion, there's going to be the largest percentage of them going, what the F did I do to my body part? I'm not a girl. I'm not a boy. They have to give you hormones, so your hormones are all effed up.
Well, it's not. Here's the thing, though. I've seen those stories, Lizzie, where and more are being given a voice to talk about making a mistake, about changing.
They are.
But there are those who still say they're happy as hell that they changed their body type.
Well, and then
It's the exception of the rule. And we're talking about the rule, not the exception.
Correct. Yep. For true. So, I mean, that's the thing. And like Joe said, 10 years from now, this might even be different things going on. Heck, we might be walking around, with shirts that aren't like America loving, because hell, we might have lost our country a decade from now with all this crap going on. And I hate to hear that, but I think it's that real and that big that we're in serious trouble if our youth today have to deal with what they have to deal with instead of just getting up, getting good grades, playing sports or being theater or whatever. They're having to worry about, gosh, do I call him a he? Do I call him a she? Can I go to the bathroom? Is there a guy in there? Oh my gosh, did my face get broken? Playing a soccer game because a boy was a girl. I mean, think about the stuff our kids have to go through. It's enormous stress on my daughter. Even now, she's 14 and she goes to a private school, and they don't allow any of that. I mean, it's a Christian school. They believe fundamentally the Bible. I don't know, even if somebody came out as gay, that they would be mean or kick them out. It's just not the norm. But I know she welled up just with tears just about something that was so minor, but it was similar to this sort of things that she had to deal with kids from another team. And she's like, Mom, I just want to play volleyball and I don't want to worry about who we offend on the other team if we don't say the right pronoun. I mean, come on. I mean, this is it. And it is. Bindy's right. It's destroying our children. It is.
Well, and it comes out, we were just talking about the story that happened with the bathroom, with a dad finally getting justice.
God love him.
For trying to stick up for his daughter who was raped in a bathroom in 2021 by a boy pretending to be a girl in a mini skirt. So, this is a fight that's going to continue to go on. As we said earlier, I mean, there's a million fights that just continue to happen over and over and over again. Wherever you are, I mean, you have to stand up for what's right. You have to talk. You have to if you're a parent, then you have to be a parent.
You do.
And it's not easy to be a parent.
It's not easy being a parent right now.
It's not getting any easier, that's for sure, especially when we have all kinds of stories that are hitting us. Final story we had I wanted to cover today was over the weekend, New Mexico's governor literally went above the Constitution. She suspended everyone's right to bear arms. She legitimately said the Second Amendment is not absolute. Okay, Elon Musk even jumped in. He's like, when can we impeach her? An impeachment needs to happen. Republicans, and of course, this is a liberal governor. It's another liberal. I'm sorry. Yes, we get hurt. We hate gun violence. Everybody hates gun violence, and nobody understands completely.
There's some interesting stuff going on with this video that you sent me.
Which video you talking about?
The governor of New Mexico declaring the First and the Second Amendment.
I didn't know I sent video.
Yeah, there was a video, but if you look, I'm sharing this now. Watch when I try to unmute it. the audio is no longer available.
Isn't that interesting? And isn't that funny, Joe, how much of that, when they don't want it to get out, they mute people, they mute the audio.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just so interesting how that is.
I didn't know that was muted. But what happened with the Governor Michelle Grisham, she had a local ban on public carry. And of course, gun groups were not happy. And average American citizen should not be happy. She said that she was declaring a public health emergency to suspend the right to bear arms in Albuquerque and another surrounding community. And she said she was going to put this in place for 30 days, but can be renewed. She literally said that she has the right to overthrow the Constitution and your amendment rights. She said it covers cities or counties averaging 1,000 or more violent crimes per 100,000 residents per year since 2021. But once again, instead of sacking up and going and getting serious about putting bad people behind bars and going after them for gun law issues as best as you can, you're lax. But then you want to say, oh no, well then, do you really think the bad people are going to stop carrying guns?
No, of course they're not. Most of them have them illegal.
And
anyway.
law-abiding guns are not doing anything with the guns.
Correct.
So now you're trying to take their rights away for being law-abiding citizens, because it's not the law-abiding citizens who are out killing and shooting people. It's those who are not abiding by the law, which is why you put those not abiding by the law behind bars.
Correct.
You prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, and then you move forward. It's pretty simple. But once again, it's another one of those things in life where people try to get you as a human to think differently.
Correct.
Well, gosh, well, maybe this would be a good thing. We're going to get rid of them somehow, some way. And at the forefront of all of it is saying, I have the right. Me, Governor Grisham, have the right to overrule the Constitution of the United States. There is that thought process, and it's not the first time that we've heard this.
And we, the voters, have the right to vote you out.
And that's where now she's facing maybe some impeachment now. Here's the point. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. She sees people dying on her streets. She sees young kids and families being affected by gun violence. Okay. That doesn't mean you take away all the guns or the rights to carry guns, because one, people aren't going to follow and listen. Two, police aren't going to go enforce that.
Good luck.
That's
and
crazy.
It's misguided emotion. Why don't you start by going after those who are committing the crimes? Why don't you go by bolstering your police department? Even our good friend and Democrat Ty Dennis, former policeman who comes in this studio from time to time, says, you know what? There is no deterrent like police. There's no deterrent like police. Now, he wants more mental health associated with it, and he doesn't think that locking people up and releasing them brings them out in a better situation. But is it better to keep them on the streets?
I'm not sure it's the police officer's job to worry about the mental health.
No, that's not what he means.
Well, I know
mental
that is, but a lot of them are being trained now that they have to worry about the mental health if a social worker doesn't come out. I just think, and that's what they're pushing now, is for police officers to worry about the mental health. So when they go out there, they're more compassionate to the criminal if they see mental illness. Well, that shouldn't be their job. You're committing a crime. Here's the law. It's illegal. Now go to jail, hire your attorney, and go from there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. The problem is with this governor thinking that she has the right to do this.
Well, did you see that the
and
indigenous
circumventing
people
the
are fighting
Constitution?
her?
Well, yeah, they are. Several groups are. The NRA, National Rifle Association. There's some sporting groups, guys in the state of New Mexico who are trying to come out and fight this as well. It's still a TBD, to be determined, but it just goes to show what one woman thinks that she can do with the Constitution. Thank God somebody even like Elon Musk coming out ripping this woman for thinking that she can do this. And of course, she's still trying to defend, I have every right to do this because gun crimes are so bad. I'm going to continue to fight this fight that I have, because once she goes down, there's no way in hell she'll be reelected. No way.
Well, you would hope not. But I agree with Aaron that all of this is going on in New Mexico and all of these other big cities. This is a byproduct of the COVID pandemic, that they became, all of these little people in their own little fiefdoms have become little tyrants. And so many people complied and they got power hungry about it. And nobody was punished during that time, even the expired plates. And so many people didn't push back. And we ended up with a bunch of little tyrants. And there's no mistake in that. They knew this was going to happen. They knew it. This was part of the plan.
What's part of the, what do you mean?
The part of the plan is these governors and these people in these big areas that are blue, it is a byproduct of what happened during the pandemic. People like Sam Page, people like this governor, and they're almost all Democrats. They're almost all blue run. They became little tyrants. Stay in your house, wear a mask, be a good boy, do this, do that. And then now they become so power hungry, like little tyrants, and they're being allowed to do it. Even though she may not get reelected again, she has the power, she thinks, to do all of this now. It didn't help.
And maybe if they see how elections are going, or maybe they know that they'll have help. Maybe they know that they'll get bankrolled in. Maybe they know they'll get crafted in so they can feel like they can do things like this.
Correct.
But at least there were some Democrats, other elected representatives nationally, who were coming out saying that what she's trying to do is wrong. I appreciate those who are trying to do that, and at least to come out and say that. Ted Lieu, he came out. He's a Democrat from California too.
Yeah.
And he basically said that she was misguided in her politics from this standpoint. So
that's an understatement. But at least he's saying it.
Yeah. They're just, but once again, her words, they're massive, because we haven't seen a sitting governor say anything like this. I have the power to overrule the Constitution. I have the power, and it's not for a public health emergency, which she's trying to associate it with. So,
yeah. And Greg is saying, remember when we were taught the politicians were of the people for the people. I don't think we've really seen that for a long time.
Before we get out of here today, prayers and thoughts of people in Morocco as well. I mean, when you have a couple thousand people in 2023 die, their totals have been like 2,000 people dead in Morocco from earthquakes. I mean, you want to talk about something that sounds like third world country or just massive. I mean, imagine 9/11, 977 more deaths, but holy crap.
Yeah.
2,000 people dying in an earthquake.
That's nuts.
In the year 2023 in Morocco.
Nuts.
Also, because you like to talk about masks a lot, Lizzie.
I do, because
here's some hope.
I do.
Huntington Beach, California.
Yeah.
All the Cali crazies.
Yeah.
They voted in Huntington Beach to ban mask and cupcake mandates.
Hallelujah. That is so great. You just made my day.
I was trying to give you a little bit of hope for the future.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I am glad to hear it.
And I think we covered about 25 different things today, but it was a great show. It went fast. Don't forget you can send us stars on Facebook as well. And we appreciate those of you who are doing that. Of course, you can always like, subscribe, share the show. Check out the website, canceltheshow.com. Lots of platforms to check us out on, whether it's viewing or listening or live. We appreciate when you jump in with the live aspect as well. We're grateful for that. Also, check out the merchandise shop, which we have. That's on there coming up as well. We'll talk with Sandy Travis, working on a couple other guests this week, Kelly Mano, Eric Johnson. It's another big week that we have. If you guys know of advertisers to combine with us, let us know there. And of course, we will do our best from that standpoint. So did we forget anything?
I think we covered.
Did we cover the videos, pictures? I can't remember.
Yeah, we got everything.
We got
Damn, that's a lot.
in.
I'm tired.
Yeah, it's exhausting sometimes with all of this stuff to take. That's why sometimes you just got to go after the show.
We did. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time. And if you guys have guests for us, let us know. Contact us all. Vic@canceltheshow.com. What's the best email for you?
It is Lizzie with an IE cancelthisshow.com. And if you would like to email me, if you know a sponsor, if you would also like to join the team, we're looking for one more account executive to join the team. And that will be fun. You guys will have fun working here.
And you can check out the merchandise again. We have that rocking and rolling for you. And any other cancel culture ideas or stories, we're wide open for that as well. Okay, that'll do it for us. And of course, thoughts and prayers as we focus to start the show on everyone who lost something on 9/11, 22 years ago. Today, we remember that, the victims, the families, and everybody who suffered in some way. For Projo and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. This is Cancel This. Have a wonderful day.